Howdy, I'm Drew Brophy. I've been a professional artist for over 20 years. It's my job to make things look cool. My wife Marie and I run a small family business where we get to design all kinds of cool stuff. Every day there's something new going on in my studio. So come with me behind the scenes and watch how a little bit of paint can make stuff look really cool. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I created my new Nerve beach cruisers. I'm here with designer Steve Haskey to go over the brand new designs.
Now this
concept's pretty kick-ass.
It's awesome. Like I said, the name is great.
Who is that girl? How come I'm not in the picture? What is up with that?
Where's the hottie?
God, that makes me mad. I'm always out, cut out. Drew Brophy with some unidentified woman who is not his wife. As usual.
What you do. I think this bike is great. I like
this flow and happiness.
Exactly.
Maybe you must be on the website, the hottie of the month.
Doubt it.
All right, so we're back in my studio now, and all of our creative meetings are done at Nerve. I'm really stoked because, as you see here, we started out with these sketches, and this was just a lot of fun, just feeling it around, and we came up with something that we liked, and so then it went to this color phase, which is just real conceptual of what it might look like, and then we actually went and put them on the bikes and showed what they might look like with color, and then we made notes about changes and different things like that. So, now, with all this as our guide, we're now ready to do the actual painting, and it's going to be a big painting like this, and it's really great. That's what makes my stuff so different is, this is going to be a little decal on the bike, and when people see it, they're going to go, wow, how did they do that? Well, how we do it is we do it really big, we paint it killer with lots of detail, and then we shrink it back down so it can be put on the bike. So it's going to be awesome. So all we have to do now is we have to go get some supplies, and we'll spend the day getting it all prepped and get the sketch on there and do all that stuff, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, get one of these so we can get some wood. All right, so we want to get a nice piece of finished plywood. Looks pretty good. Now let's take it over to the saw, we'll get it cut. Oh no, it's out of order. It's like, this machine's like the most awesome things ever because you just cut it perfectly straight, and now it kind of creates a problem, which is normal in my everyday life, is you just got to roll with it. So I'm gonna have to cut it myself, so I'll have to get some kind of setup so I can get that cut nice and straight. And anybody who's ever tried to cut a big piece of plywood knows it's really difficult to set it up and get it nice and straight. But we'll pull it off, no worries. Howdy! All right, we're back in the shop here, and since the saw was broke at the hardware store, we're gonna have to cut this ourselves, which is really difficult. Just making my points. Let's start here. All right, we're all ready. Let's cut this thing. All right, that was pretty easy. It's all about setting it up right to start out. All right, let's prime these things. Okay, so these things are all cut, and I'm actually just gonna lay them right here in the parking lot. And we're going to prime these babies up. Just white primer. Just like painting a fence. So I got to get a lot of paint on here. All right, in this step, I have the templates for the bikes right here. I have to make sure that this space right here where the art's going to be matches onto the board so that the art fits in there perfectly. It all has to be designed perfectly for it to work, and it's just another piece of the puzzle. All right, so we have our grid done here, and I have to make sure I put these templates on here perfectly so that we don't have any anomalies in the art when it goes to be produced.
While working in the studio, you never know who's going to stop in. When we come back, my friend Gerry Lopez brings his sun-damaged paddleboard in for a quick paint job.
We have a stand-up paddleboard right here. This is for Gerry Lopez, and it's got some yellowing and stuff, so we're just going to clean this up and do a quick cover-up. And this is kind of neat because there's lots of ways you can paint your board, and this is just one of them. So as you can see, I taped it off, and I'm going to make sure I tape it off right here so there's no overspray on the board. And it's just a pretty easy deal. And what we're going to be doing is painting through palm fronds and different leaves and stuff. And should just show you how cool and easy you can paint your board this way. Basically, I just want to make sure all these things kind of line up. So I'm just going to keep doing this all the way down.
Cool. This is me. Wow, cool. That guy really is an artist, isn't he?
He is. I couldn't do this.
And this is the fun part.
That's an awesome board. Here, I'll get that.
Thank you, son. You're like my little helper.
Ah.
Nice save, huh?
The rail lines looking all right? Close line. All right, yours, man. All right, see you later.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Killer.
Have fun. All you need is 2 palm fronds, 2 cans of paint, and 1 yellow surfboard. All right, so we have the sketch all laid out here that we did in the other room. And now we're going to go to the next step, which is painting it. Right here, I'm just trying to, clean off the tip so I can blend the colors really well. I do it on my hand because the markers, they're non-toxic. They don't have any harsh chemicals in them, and it washes off really easy with soap. We already finished most of the blue. Now we're going to start on our next color, and I have my orange and my yellow, and I'm going to do the flames on his back. right, so we got all the color done now, and now we need to go around and do all the black outline. So this is where the painting really starts to pop, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to be working on the black. All right, now we're going to start on the girls' painting for the Nerve bike. And this one's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be some really bright colors, and I tried to elongate the art a little bit. And we have our sketch here, which is like the color comp. And the color on this is going to be much more dynamic. And you know, this is just a quick color. So let's get started doing the real thing, and it's going to be awesome.
Once the paintings are finished, the next step is to get them professionally photographed, then sent off to Nerve. It will be 8 months before the bikes are manufactured with my designs, but we'll check back later in the show to see my new bikes come to life.
We're here at the factory with my friend Maurice, and Maurice, we've known each other about 10 years, you think?
Yep.
Yeah, and we've painted surfboards together, and you know, this is his place. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the factory here?
The factory basically is just a big surf shop. It's kind of like geared more industrial type, you know, a little bit more core than the usual shop.
Right.
We have a glass shop right next door. We sell blanks. And we have probably about 120 used boards, maybe about 180 new boards.
Wow. Maurice and I have made a living painting surfboards, and it's really neat to see all the different boards that they have here. And what we're going to do is kind of the ghetto style painting, which is like spray paint and spraying through things and stencils, and they have a lot of good examples here. All right, so we have a board here that Maurice did that's a perfect example of like what we want to show people today. Explain to the people like how you did this.
Basically, we just had like a plain, regular pill board that we wanted to put some color on. I drew this stencil onto, you can do it on cardboard, you can do it on a piece of like acetate or plastic or whatever. And basically, you can razor blade it all out. They also have a stencil burner, which is kind of like a little hot iron you can use to trace through the plastic. If you use plastic, it'll cut it up. It's really easy. And then after that, basically, I taped the board off for my pin lines. And after I pulled the tape, I did a little 1/8 gap, and then I was ready to basically do my stencils. And so what I do for that is I just kind of start in one spot, you know, maybe like here or something like that, and I spray around it. And then after that, I just keep kind of moving it and building on it, making sure that I don't overlap though the first skull, so that, you know, later you're gonna have like depth basically, you know, so they look like they're kind of on top of each other.
Right.
So I went through and did that all throughout the board. After I did that, I took a little bit of transparent pink and I spray right over the black. Basically, wherever it's white, it turns the color that you're spraying. when it's black, it stays black. That's kind of a rad little thing that
Yeah.
we use, you know, helps save stages. You could have sprayed the pink first if you wanted to, you know, and done the black on top. Then after that, I used basically this little tree branch that I found outside, and I just lay it down and just spray right through it and kind of move it along, you know, the design, and just give it that little flared kind of look.
We're going to show you how to just kind of get a couple cans of spray paint, make some stencils, and make something cool and quick on your board. And thanks, Maurice. This was cool.
You're
Right
welcome.
on.
Thank you.
All right.
I drew some ideas out on cardboard. Now I'm going to show you how to cut them out.
Basically what you want to do is start from one of the points or somewhere and try to cut nice and even. It's real important because you want to use both sides. I want to be able to use this part as a stencil and then the opposite part as a stencil. So I want to make sure each part's cut out pretty good. When we're airbrushing boards on the phone, we're basically cutting designs like this out in tape. But when we do these stencil jobs, we can just do this kind of stuff really quick on a piece of cardboard and spray through it. It's not as clean of a finish, but it has its own look, which is kind of cool. We got that piece, and then we have this piece. This one's a lot more complicated. Now, I drew this really quick and kind of rough, and there's two different ways that I could do this. I could do it just as one piece, and but I kind of want to save it as two pieces. So what I need to make sure is all these little things connect. You know, being able to use a razor blade and cut things is a whole art in itself. So if you're having difficulty with it, don't worry. It's taken me a long time to be able to do this. And some guys are really good at it. You know, you can notice here I'm using like a regular razor blade to cut this. And some people like to use an X-Acto knife, which is great, that works. And then there's also stencil cutters, you know, that do it. But, you know, I'm used to working with a razor blade, and this works really good for me. I know how to really make it work. But whatever you use to cut it will be fine as long as you get the job done. This is just what works best for me. All right, so I got this all cut out, and let's pull it apart and see how it looks. So there's the skull there, and here's the skull here. All right, so we got this brand new board here, and like I said, this is going to be more intricate of a design, you know, using stencils and stuff. So we already cut out the stencils, and now I'm going to do another step that you might want to try. Using tape, I want you to tape off a rail line. Now this is just another little cleaner way to do it. So, you know, if you're up for it, give this a try. All right, so we have our yellow paint, and we're going to give that a crack. All right, so that looks pretty cool. Let's get another color. I just want to get the red right on the edge. It's coming together, looks cool already. We hadn't even used a stencil yet. So I'm going to use this flame stencil and just kind of flame it up going into there and see what we get. You know, you can really have fun with this too. You know, this isn't like brain surgery. How's that? That looks pretty sick, huh? I'm going to bring out my old trusty chain again, and I kind of want to make it look like this thing's like chained up. Yeah, I like that. got nice colors, it's nice and alive, and yeah, so let's peel it up. So this board's all done, and it didn't even take us that long to do it. You know, we had to cut out a couple stencils, 3 cans of spray paint, and you know, we just went for it with no plan, and it came out awesome. Have fun with this. Do something really rad, and don't be scared. Just throw some paint on it and go surf, catch some waves.
8 months later, I brought my family to the Nerve headquarters to see the completed bikes for the first time. Nerve designer Steve Haskey couldn't wait to show me the bikes. It is amazing how my huge painting shrank down to make this small decal. My hand-drawn lettering came out really cool too. The Surf Dragon is amazing. The girl's bike came out beautiful as well. All the little accents really make the bike pop. It's nice to see all the pieces come together. Couldn't wait to take the bikes for a ride in the Nerve factory. Now you've seen how it's my job to make stuff look cool. The best part about my job is being able to use the products that I design. It felt great to ride my new bike down to Trestles to go surfing.
You know, it's funny. When I was a kid, I used to ride my bike down to the beach to go surfing. And all these years later, I'm still riding my bike down to the beach to go surfing. Life is good.